Welcome to Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. Last week, I shared what I have learned in life from my three favorite Japanese words Megakuri, which means hide and reveal, Kintsugi, which is the art of repairing broken ceramic or glass pieces and lining the cracks with gold, and Ikigai, which refers to a reason for being or purpose. Well, my sister Deb had gone to a doctor's appointment a week ago and she backed out of the driveway without realizing she had left her purse on the roof of the car. When she got to the doctor's appointment, she discovered it was missing. She hoped she had left it at home and was worried the whole time until she drove into her driveway and heard the ping on her phone indicating her purse with the phone in it was nearby, but she couldn't find it anywhere. Returning to the driveway, she met her neighbor holding the purse. The neighbor told her that a young man named Chase was doing some construction work in the neighborhood and found Deb's purse lying in the street. He looked in it for an address and knocked on her door. No one was home. So he went to the neighbor and asked if she knew my sister whose name he'd found inside the purse. She of course did and assured him she would make sure it was returned. Deb was so relieved, so thankful for the kindness of this young man. It was rather traumatic. A purse has so much valuable information one does not want to lose. Well, then on Monday of last week, Deb was sitting listening to my podcast about being overwhelmed and the three Japanese words I loved. She had just listened to the section on kintsugi, repairing broken items, and lining the cracks with gold when the doorbell rang. There stood a young man. He said, "My name is Chase." It was a wonderful reunion. He explained he had been turmoiling about leaving her purse with a neighbor and worried all weekend about it. He told his wife he just had to go back and check to make sure the purse was returned. It was a wonderful visit from an angel in disguise. Deb said, "It was just like kintsugi. I felt relief getting my purse back, but I felt restored when Chase came to the door. The kindness of his caring spirit was the gold that made this story so beautiful." Do you have a kintsugi story? Hmm, Think about it. My husband Donnie and I were reflecting on several of my former jobs and some assumptions people had made about my potential. For those who do not know me well, I have a jovial spirit, am fortunate to be enthusiastically positive, and I love to laugh. Sometimes people assume, because of my outer nature, that I perhaps don't have the depth or qualities to do some of the difficult things that come with positions such as leadership. However, I'm also fortunate to have had the opportunity to prove them wrong. When we were talking about it, I said to Donnie, "Hey, I'm Miyagakuri. Hide and reveal." Do you have a Miyagakuri story? First impressions are Miyagakuri stories. When you are the one who makes a judgment of someone only to discover you were so wrong, that's hide and reveal. Miyagakuri. It reminds me of my dear friend Millie Rosdale Ozenga, excuse me. She and her husband Bob went on a cruise. The first evening, they were to meet the people who they would be sharing their dinner table with for the week. Two women came to the table. They were quite obese, wearing brightly colored muumuus, talking and laughing loudly. And Millie thought, "Oh boy, it's going to be a long week." But these two women, who were mother and daughter, turned out to be delightful. They had traveled widely, were extremely well read, and were wonderful table companions. Millie said, "I came to scoff, but I left with praise." Hmm. Miyagakuri, hide and reveal. Do you have a Miyagakuri story? Think about it. The third Japanese word, ikigai, means purpose or reason for being and is similar to the French raison d'être. I think of my friend Erin Gruwell, author of the Freedom Writer's Diary. She was a new English teacher in the inner city of Long Beach, California. She had been given a classroom of unteachable, at risk students for her first year of teaching. During those first days in her classroom, she intercepted a note with a rude racial caricature. Her response to the students angrily expressed that this was precisely the sort of thing that has led to the Holocaust. The students looked at her blankly, having no idea what Holocaust meant. This was a defining moment for Erin. She changed her curriculum, her approach, and brought these students who had been written off by everyone to a place of self respect, intellectual competence, and a promising future. It is a compelling story, which has also been made into a movie, The Freedom Writers. Did Erin make her purpose, her ikigai? Or was that going to happen anyway because of her personality, inner being, or skill set? We don't have to know the answer. We just have to know that what happens and what we do with it becomes our ikigai, our reason for being, our purpose. Do you have an ikigai story? Huh, think about it. Which word resonates with your life stories? This week, on your bathroom mirror, write, I will look for ways to reveal what I can be, what brokenness can be restored, and find my purpose in it all. Hmm. Join me next Monday for Live Life Inspired Views for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.